What's up, YouTube? Part of the Cards here, CJ, and this evening I'll be bringing you, well, evening here, I'll be bringing you a Yosenju deck profile. And Yosenjus, when they came out, I feel like they were sort of, in my opinion, ignored because of all the hype on the Necros and even Ritual Beasts. But I think they're actually such a great deck, and they're the one of the few decks that can really really have a really fun time competing against. Or a really good chance competing against the Necros matchup, or any of the other really like meta kind of broken decks in this format. So let's get this deck started. It's actually a rather expensive deck, even though all the cards pretty much come in that one set of the Secret Forces. But it's still these cards each of them part of the archetype are usually like $3. Like it's pretty expensive deck, but it's honestly really worth it. And yeah, let's just get this started. So first you're running triple comma 1. You'll see that you're going to be running play sets of all the commas, and basically they work with each other. So in case for those that you don't know, their effects work by when one's summoned, as long as it resolves, the summoning resolves, you're able to immediately afterwards summon another comma, or sorry, not comma, but Yosenju monster. So how comma 1 works is he's basically the main guy out of all the 3 Yosenjus. Because, well, in my opinion, because he sends one face-up card from the field back to the hand. So, sorry, on the field back to the hand. So, he's basically, like I said, your main card, and he's gonna set up your, basically your OTK if you're able to, remove their monsters pretty consistently, to swing for game, as you can summon multiple monsters. You swarm with this deck. So, like I said, 3 of each, so here's 2. He's the one that can attack directly, and why he's pretty good is because he actually works with number 3. So, here's number 3 just so I can talk about them both. Basically, since number 2 can swing directly, what number 3 does is that when another Yosenju monster inflicts battle damage, you're able to search for a Yosenju card from your deck to your hand. So, basically, this effect happens right after, right after another Yosenju card inflicts damage. And you can search for anything, and usually I would search for the sign. I just call it the sign, but it's the pendulum card, or the secret move, which is the counter trap card in this deck, which is absolutely broken. So they basically work together pretty well. And common number 2, 1800 attack. Just pull that up so you guys can see 1800 attack. Swing directly. That can even win you games sometimes if they have a low amount of life points. But yeah. Basically, that's all your commas for you, and it's really cool because I don't know if any of you guys are watching play League, which you probably do, but they all look like Yasuo, so that's pretty cool too. Win type. Okay, so next, so I lied. That's not all the Yosenjus, but that's all for the commas. Definitely, you got 3 Sujiks. Some people run 2 Sujiks. I think I was running 2 at the start, but I took it out. I took 1 Sujik. I put 1 Sujik in. I took out a Vanity Emptiness, I believe. But you can obviously put, you can run triple Vanities. It works really well in this deck. But Sujik's effect is super broken. You either ditch him to your hand, from your hand to your graveyard to give 1,000. So kind of like an Honest, basically. But obviously not really, but it's that kind of idea. Or he can target one Yosenju monster on the field and give it 1,000 attack while it's on the field. So he's basically what allows you to get over a lot of troublesome monsters. As common number 2 becomes 2800, it's just massive amount of damage. And how he works really well from the hand is because, let's say they do something, they do what they're supposed to do and stop Yosenju the main way you can, which is like, for example, let's say you Fiendish one of the Yosenju's monsters so you can't summon more, and you kind of have a Yosenju monster trapped on the field. You have this hand trap in order to get you out of it. If they have a big beater thinking they can get over it, drop it from your hand, destroy their monster. So this is how Sujik works really well, most of the time. So next, you got 2 of the Yosenju Sinchu L. So like I talked about before, this is the sign. This is what I meant by the sign. He's basically the pendulum card, as you can see. But why he's really broken is because when he's in the pendulum zone, any Yosenju monsters, so if you have all of them on the field, if any of them would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. So he really saves you from a lot of things. Like, I just have to mention that the main thing is, what really kills you Yosenju monsters most of the time is cards that would destroy everything, basically blow everything all at once. So on your turn. For example, if you were trying to swing and they have a Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute on your summonings of the multiple Yosenju monsters, that will really, basically blow you over, because obviously you need all of them on the field, and if you lose a bunch, you'll be losing a lot of field advantage, which means they can just pretty much, you'll have to rely on your back row, but then it's going to get really slow. So Yosenju saves you from so many of those situations, and also when he's in the monster zone, any Yosenju monster you control that would be targeted by card effects, it automatically targets him. So it really, basically all in all, gets rid of a lot of troublesome, annoying back row and such, and effects. So next for the spell and trap lineup, we got triple tanky. Obviously, all of them are Beast Warriors, except for the sign, but all your main cards. Next, I run one Divine Wind of Mist Valley. This card is pretty great because when you send them back to your hand, you can special summon a Yosenju monster, and this can help you with a lot of situations. If I would pull one in, specifically, let's say you have a secret move, but you have nothing to play off of it because you need Yosenju monsters or cards. So if you play a sign, if you had a sign before and you play it, and because of the effect of this, you special summon a Yosenju monster to the field, you can now make it live the next turn. So it's pretty good, and it surprises your opponent. They think you special summoned it, that's useless, but they get hit in the face by your counter trap card. So next you got two of the Yosen Training Grounds. This is basically your your shitty 6 Gateway of the 6, but basically it's still pretty good because if you're really safe and you can normal summon all 3 of your Yosenju monsters, you can search for another Yosenju card. So, or you can take off only one counter just for a 300 attack for all Yosenju monsters. So, pretty great card overall. One Dark Hole. This would be a Raigeki. Don't have another Raigeki. Expensive right now. But yeah, Dark Hole. Field clearing. Snatch Steal because it came back and it's Snatch Steal. Next, you got 2 dualities. A lot of the times, well, not really a lot of times, but sometimes you're going to need this, and drawing into this is great because obviously you don't special summon that often, at least. I run 1 Gaioku and 2 MSTs. This is all, your choice. Some may want to run another Gaioku instead of MST, but MSTs are pretty important because, like I told you, Mirror Force, Torrential, those are the things that stop you the most. And if you blow before they can do anything, there you go, they can't do anything about it. So, and just swing for game. But, Gaioku is good because, you get that 100 boost, whatever. 100 attack makes a difference sometimes. So, Gaioku's not that bad. I just run it in here. So next, you got, for the trap lineups, you got the secret move, like I talked about earlier. This card is just absolutely broken. They made a counter trap card just for this archetype, and it basically, screws everything up. Like, it's just, I just don't even have words for it. You don't understand how many times it's saved me in so many situations. So next you got 2 Vanity's Emptiness. You normal summon a shit ton in this deck, no need for much special summoning, at least most of the time. So Vanity's Emptiness is great, just screws up a lot of the decks right now in the meta. So next you got Solemn Warning, warning, bottom's trap hole, just gonna place out all these basically like staple traps. And these traps are actually really important because as you know, by their effects of the Yosenju monsters, when they come back to your hand, you're going to be open field, which is why this deck is really prone to OTK. But because of these cards, your opponent, probably won't have the chance to OTK you, luckily. Next, you got 2 Mirror Force. Like I said, I just didn't have space to put those 2, but yeah, same thing, stable trap cards. Also have a Spiegelkraft, German Mirror Force. Isn't that amazing? You got 1 Torrential Tribute, and finally you got 2 Fiendish Chain. You can bump this up to 3. Fiendish Chain is just a great card overall. I've always played Fiendish Chain over Breakthrough Skill. I think it's just better, in my opinion. So next you got the extra deck. I'm running a Lightning Chidori. I don't have another one, but you can run 2. Lightning Chidori is a great card. Set card back to bottom of the deck, detach face up card back to your hand. It's just like literally Yosenju Kama 1, except a bit better, really shiny, and an Xyz monster, so yeah. Next, you got Diamond Dire Wolf. They're all Beast Warriors, so Dire Wolf, I don't bring him all that often, but he's there. Next, you got Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Pretty good because you can swing for game with him, and it's really easy to bring out actually 3 Yosenju monsters. Next, Castel, staple. Black Ship of Corn, Gaga Cowboy. Now, Gaga Cowboy is a really great card in this deck because you can swarm so many Yosenju monsters. You can honestly get, 2 of these guys out and then, basically go for a game with 1600. There's many times where they're left with a bit, a slither of health, and then I just Gaga Cowboy for game because it's just so easy with the amount of, normal summoning you can do in one turn. Exeus Rebellion, just a great card overall. So many times I've brought him out and got over like a huge monster that I couldn't get over. Abyss Dweller, a lot of decks work off a graveyard. Daigusto Emerald, Ragna Zero, and Carnagorgon, Anti-Luminescent Knight. These are all just basically staples, and obviously I didn't mention some of the because I don't have them, but Excite All Night, just any 4s you can find pretty much work really well with this deck. When you need to bring them out. But I just want to mention some cards you might be able to bring it, put into the deck if you really wanted to. That can really help the deck. It's just some suggestions you guys I can make that I wouldn't really play. Like I just don't really like to play, but it's still really good. Just like I do it in every single video. So we got TK Ryo. He stops a lot of things. Like if I just bring an example, Mask Heroes just get screwed over by this. They can't search. They can't Rhoda. They pretty much can't play anything. It basically makes the full lock with the Vanity's Emptiness. So TK Ryo is just so good this format. Yeah, he's basically good anytime, and his effect to negate a special summoning as well. And here's just another Gaioku because Gaioku, like I told you, you can replace MST with the Gaiokus if you really want to. So that comes to the end of this profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Tomorrow we're actually most likely gonna bring you not Haunt. I was gonna say Haunted Mind, but that's like a previous Gold Series. The Return of the Bling Gold Series, and we're gonna do some openings of that. Hopefully we pull some cool cards for you guys, but just expect that to come to most likely tomorrow. And this is CJ signing out.